This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
To stay ahead of the tabloids and any writer out there who is looking to publish an unauthorized biography that would rely on old clips and fake news. Or is there more to it than that? See how bright he is? That started me thinking. What is my goal here? Is there more to it than that? Like most people, I want to be liked, and I want people to know a little bit more about the person they have been cheering on for the past year. Sure, staying ahead of the tabloids is part of the reason also. Once I made the decision to proceed, I quickly determined what the book would not be. This is not going to be a standard memoir. We're just hitting the highlights. It's a series of quick look-ins, revelations. It's an aperçu of Alex Trebek, human being. What is he like? What has he done? How did he screw up? Things like that. Except for contributing the occasional Jeopardy clue, I'm not a writer, and I especially do not feel comfortable writing about myself. When I met with Governor-General of Canada, David Johnston, a couple of years ago, I got a chuckle out of him when I said, "Your Excellency, you and I have a lot in common. We're both from the Sudbury region. We've both played hockey with Phil Esposito. You have written 22 books, and I have read 22 books. I've spent a career communicating verbally, so try to look at this as a conversation in which I get a chance to reveal a lot more about myself than I have ever done on Jeopardy. Some of what you will discover will undoubtedly surprise you. Some of it may even shock you. I'm going to do my best to recount things completely accurately, but I don't want people to hold me to that. And I don't want people coming back at me and saying, 'You didn't get that right.' I'll try to remember as much as I can. But the cancer, the chemotherapy, and my age have taken a toll on me. My powers of recall have slowed. When I was younger, I had a great memory. I didn't forget anything. Now my memory is fading, and I feel I'm in the same boat as Mark Twain, who in his 70s said he remembered only things that never happened. If that occurs here, tough shit." That was revelation number 1. Alex Trebek swears. Though, as I'll explain a bit later, not as much as I used to. Well, now I'm going to turn the narration over to someone I got to know quite well during the 4 months he reigned as a Jeopardy champion. I'm proud to call him a friend. Here's Ken Jennings.
Thanks, Alex. It's a real honor. Now let's get started with the first chapter. What is the Nickel Range? All right, let's start with something of significance. Approximately 1,850,000,000 years ago, a large comet struck North America a mighty blow in what is now the province of Ontario, and along with scattering masses of valuable industrial minerals as far away as Minnesota, left what is now called the Sudbury Basin, Earth's second largest crater, 81 miles in diameter. The large impact filled up with magma containing nickel, platinum, copper, gold, and other metals, making the area one of the world's major mining sites. My hometown of Sudbury lies just outside the southern rim, and for many years was known as the nickel capital of the world. My father, George Edward Terabeychuk, was this little Ukrainian immigrant who had earned his passage money to Canada mainly by playing violin at weddings and parties in his hometown of Nuino. He arrived from Ukraine in the late 1920s. He was on a train bound for Manitoba to be a farm laborer, but when he got to Ottawa, he decided he didn't want to work on a farm, and he jumped off. He had a cousin, my Uncle Mike, who lived in Toronto, and he touched base with him. Once Dad mastered the fundamentals of basic English and changed his last name to match his cousin's, Mike got him a starting job in the kitchen at the King Edward Hotel, which was one of the 2 large first-class hotels in Toronto. Dad knew nothing about cooking, but he got to like it, got good at it, and eventually, after a long apprenticeship, worked his way up to pastry chef. Then, in the late 30s, he moved to the booming mining town of Sudbury. 10 years later, he was offered the job as co-head chef at the Nickel Range Hotel in Sudbury, and that brought about major changes in my life. As I grew up, The kitchen became a second home to me, where I learned the value of the little things in life, the importance of punctuality, the rewards for